It's the 30th of January. Mary and I find ourselves on the Isle of Wight, where we come for a few days. And we've just come to the ferry terminal in Yarmouth because we're expecting Aunt Veronica to come through the gates any moment. And the boat is just about to dock. Veronica's decided to have a nice ice cream. She's got off the ferry straight into a cafe. And just look at that ice cream. We've just had a nice bit of lunch in the Gossips Cafe. And it's well named because that's what we were doing. But now something a little bit more mundane. We're going to go to Tesco's in Freshwater.
Well, it's late on a winter's evening and we're out for a walk towards the Tennyson Monument. And Auntie's looking at the bay over there and she's convinced that it's an old mine of some sort. Well, I wonder what you make of that?
Look at that view, isn't it amazing? And with the sun in just the right direction, everything is lit up beautifully.
Well, we're walking to that monument that you can see on the horizon, and as you can see the sun is just about to set, and it's one of those monuments that it doesn't seem to matter how far you walk, you never actually seem to reach it. Well, here we are right at the top by the Tennyson Monument, where there are the most spectacular views.
You can see, and putting my camera on telephoto, you can see all the way around for miles and miles. But looking eastwards, you get a spectacular view.
This monument says, "In memory of Alfred Lord Tennyson, this cross is raised a beacon to the sailors by the people of Freshwater and Freshwater's other friends in England and America." It's quite hard to read, in fact. Look at these ladies and see what they're doing. They've got amazing shadows, haven't they? And I think they've become quite like children. What do you think? Yarmouth is a pretty little place, with all sorts of quaint shops and little streets going off at unusual angles, and a lovely place just to come and wander around.
Veronica and Marion love the shops in Yarmouth. Question is, will we get back to our car before our 1 hour of parking is elapsed, especially if we find ourselves in a cafe? We've come to West Cowes, where we've come for some lunch, but we've stumbled on something rather interesting. Let me read it out to you. What it says: Winston Churchill, his parents Lord Randolph Churchill and Jenny Jerome, first met by chance off here, Cowes Parade, August 12th, 1873. He proposed at nearby Rosetta Cottage, August the 14th, 1873. They married, and Winston was born the next year in 1874. Oh, we're having a piece of conversation that I'm not supposed to be recording. I bet you'd like to know what that was about, wouldn't you? Well, I shall have to keep mum, otherwise I'll be in real trouble. But we're waiting in Cowes for our food to be served. This is Freshwater Bay, just 200 or 300 metres from where Mervyn and Jenny live.
And what a pretty place it is.
Look what I found in Freshwater Bay. It'd be perfect for Marion and Veronica. Marion, Veronica, come back, there's something for you here. Some nice steps in Freshwater Bay. Will Marion and Veronica follow me? It looks as if they are. Look how close the path goes to the cliff edge. Perfect for Jessie and William and Helena and Anna Rose and Lydia and Micah. They'd love it, wouldn't they? Especially with Granny holding their hand.
This memorial marks the place where, in the Second World War, an airman sadly lost his life. Flight Lieutenant John Dundas, 28th of November 1940.
We have come to Brading, which is on the eastern edge of the Isle of Wight. And it is this most amazing Roman house that's been unearthed and discovered in the 1880s, but the house itself dates back to about 320 when it was built. What one can see are beautiful mosaics on the floor, and many of these mosaics are actually on the original plinth from the time of the Roman house. One exception is this one, because it had sunk in various places. Marion and Veronica, just tell me where we've come to and what do you think of it?
Well, it's a very well run site. It's very cold in here though. and we've just had a very interesting talk from a man who knows a lot. Mary's just noticed something over there.
Yes, I've just noticed that the word for cockerel is in Latin is gallus, and in Israel we went to the place where Peter denied Jesus, and it was Galli Canto, so the cockerel singing. So that was a very interesting point for me.
So what is this place, Marion?
It's a Roman townhouse, very different from the one in Fishbourne that we visited earlier. It's a Roman townhouse and with lots of mosaics.
Well, if you had come to the Isle of Wight braiding in the early 4th century, this is one of the buildings that was here. It had some very fine mosaics, not too different from what you'd expect in much more recent times. This damaged mosaic was the first to be uncovered in 1880 by Father Munns and Captain Thorpe. Since its discovery, the unique pictures and images have made it one of the most difficult mosaics in Britain to interpret. Many experts and museum visitors have tried to decipher the story within the stones, but often come up with more questions than answers. This is the exterior of the Roman villa that we've just visited around, and it's a beautiful sunny day on the Isle of Wight, and that's the building in which the mosaics that we've just been examining are to be found. We've come to the garlic farm, and Mary and I have been here several times before, and it's been extended. It's quite a big place now. Always very nice food here, and we're having a little debate. Is what we've ordered going to suffice for a main meal, or are we going to have to go to a pub later? Well, wait and find out.
We might have to go to a pub. Yeah,
Veronica wants to go to a pub later. It looks like that's what we're going to be doing.
This is the rather windy seafront of Cowes, which I'm doing as a voiceover because there was so much wind noise we could hardly hear what I was saying, but this is a lovely walk along the seafront at Cowes.
We came for a walk after the Esplanade along some very steep, muddy steps in some woods. And at the top of the hill, this is where we've come to. Quite an adventure, but that's what Auntie was wanting. The ferry leaving Cowes, off to Southampton. Red Funnel, not been on that one. And look at these two.
We have had a very good walk. We're looking forward to a cup of tea and something to eat, and then a meal out tonight.
Yeah. All good.
So it's been decided. Auntie Veronica loves to play Scrabble. So does Marion. I've got a funny set of words. I wonder what I can do with that.
My mum's got
We're in the Red Bull pub.
Red Lion, darling. Red Lion.
Freshwater, sorry, the Red Lion pub in Freshwater. And I'm with Veronica and Marion, and it's very nice. And I never get amazed at the fact that these two wonderful ladies never run out of things to talk about. 3 different walking speeds. A pretty little homestead near a flowing river. Very nice too. It's a steep path, and the ladies seem to have come to a point of indecision. They don't seem to be very keen to make their way up this steep path. Oh dear, just a tad muddy.
We've come for another walk, this time near Wroxall, along a disused railway track, which we would have never found out about except for this guidebook that Marion found, and it's been really helpful. Well, our walk around Wroxall came to a rather strange end because we found the path was closed, but it was near the Donkey Sanctuary where we've come to, and it's got a really nice cafe, which is where we've made our way to.
Well, our time on the Isle of Wight is drawing to a close, and we've come on our last afternoon to Dimbola Tea Room. And although we're going out for a meal tonight to celebrate everything, Marion and Veronica have both had huge sandwiches in Dubella Tea Room.
We shared one sandwich.
We shared one sandwich. It was
And
not that big.
just look at their righteous indignation in justifying
Well,
themselves.
you're exaggerating, dear.
All I had was a solitary coffee without even a biscuit that was
You had a
promised to me.
crisp. You had a crisp.
This is the very comfortable holiday home of Mervyn and Jenny, where Veronica, Marion and I have been staying. And we've had such a nice time there, and it's a lovely place to come. Well, we're in the car park at Yarmouth, waiting to go on the ferry, and we're a little bit early, but thank you for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and perhaps you might like to come to the Isle of Wight sometime soon. Make sure you're good friends with Mervyn and Jenny, that's what I would say.